The Streisand Effect is the unintended consequence of attempting to remove or hide something from the public, only for that action itself to give that something more public attention. But how did this effect become realized, and why is it named after American singer and actress Barbra Streisand? In 2003, photographer Kenneth Adelman was taking photos of the coastline in Malibu for the California Coastal Records Project to document coastline erosion. One of the photographs taken just so happened to be of Barbra Streisand's clifftop home. In response, her lawyers sued Adelman and Pictopia.com for $50 million for violation of privacy and to have image 3850 removed from the project. However, she lost the lawsuit as Judge Alan J. Goodman of the Superior Court of California ruled in favor of Adelman under free speech protections, and she was ordered to pay Adelman's attorney fees of $155,567.04. Adelman posted the check on his website, where it is today, along with a full timeline and all the news coverage of the lawsuit. Prior to the lawsuit, image 3850 was only downloaded 6 times, with 2 of those times being Streisand's lawyers. After the lawsuit, the image was viewed more than 480,000 times the following month. 2 years later, in 2005, Mike Masnick of TechDirt coined the term Streisand Effect when writing an article about how Marco Beach Ocean Resort gave a takedown notice to urinal.net, a website dedicated to posting pictures of urinals from all over the world, for posting a picture of the urinal from the resort on its website. He wrote, "How long is it going to take before lawyers realize that the simple act of trying to repress something they don't like online is likely to make it so that something that most people would never ever see, like a photo of a urinal in some random beach resort, is now seen by many more people? Let's call it the Streisand Effect." In 2023, Streisand spoke with Vanity Fair about her autobiography, My Name is Barbra, with one of the talking points being about security issues where the effect was brought up. She stated she originally thought the name was for her effect on music, but later learned what it was actually for. She clarified that her lawyers didn't listen to her, and it was never about removing the image, just her name so that it wouldn't be associated with the picture. Some examples of the Streisand Effect on display include when a parody account of Pippa Middleton, sister of the Duchess of Cambridge, had her lawyers attempt to remove a parody Twitter account called Pippa Tips, which offered ridiculously obvious lifestyle advice in her name, such as, "Avoid getting lost by consulting with a map," and "A party isn't much fun without people attending." Its following increased to 50,000 followers. In 2007, a group of Fortune 500 companies like Disney, Microsoft, and IBM sent cease and desist letters to Dig.com, among other publications. The letters demanded they delete any mention of an encryption key that allowed people with certain softwares to decrypt and steal video content on HD DVDs. Within a month, the encryption had been seen on over 280,000 web pages, printed on t-shirts and tattoos, published as a book, and appeared on YouTube in a song with over 800,000 hits.
F9 1102.
In 2012, the Argyll and Butte Council banned 9-year-old Martha Payne from taking pictures of her school lunches for giving them low scores out of 10 and posting them on her blog. Her family complained and received much media attention, leading to the decision being overturned. As of today, the blog has more than 12 million hits, and Martha has raised more than £130,000 for charity. Also, in 2012, a UK High Court ordered 5 internet service providers to ban access to the Pirate Bay, the Swedish file-sharing site, and the subsequent media coverage of the ruling caused visits to the site to increase by more than 10 million hits. Another famous example was in 2013 when the French General Directorate for Internal Security demanded the removal of a French Wikipedia article about Station Herzing Militaire de Pierre-sur-Haut, a French military station, claiming they were showing classified material despite the information being freely available online by the French Air Force. It is alleged that GDIS sought out a Wikipedia volunteer, Remy Mathis, with the power to delete articles, brought him to the agency's office and demanded that he take the article down or face legal charges. The article was deleted, but then immediately brought back by a user in Switzerland outside their jurisdiction. As a result, the Wikipedia page was viewed more than 120,000 times in the span of 2 days. What is probably the most famous case of the Streisand Effect happened in 2014 in what is now called the Right to be Forgotten case, or Google versus AEPD and Mario Costeja Gonzalez. In 1998, 2 articles were posted in the Spanish newspaper La Vanguardia about properties that were being sold to pay off debts, one of which was owned by Mario Gonzalez. He later paid off his debts. However, as a lawyer, whenever his name was Googled, these articles would always surface. In 2010, he asked the newspapers to have the articles removed, but was refused. He then went to the Spanish Data Protection Agency, who rejected his claim towards the newspaper, and instead granted his claim against Google. In 2014, a summary judgment came down where the data was not deleted from the source, but was not linked to his name from Google searches, putting the responsibility on Google to regulate data deletion requests. In Europe, the right to privacy is above the right to freedom of speech compared to the US and Great Britain. The decision to have data be deleted upon request was met with heavy criticism. The New York Times declared that it could undermine press freedoms and freedom of speech, and that it risks suppressing information of public importance, including links about elected officials. Victor Mayer Schonberger, considered one of the godfathers of the right to be forgotten, claims that the reason Europe proclaims individual privacy above all else is because of how information was used by Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia to create totalitarian surveillance states. The laws were made to prevent these types of abuses in the future. As he states, there was a pervasive belief that we can't trust anybody, not the state, not a company, to keep to its own role and protect the rights of the individual.